Hello there. Recently, I managed to hit a milestone which was a very long time goal of my own. It's one of those things that I've been striving for months on end, but it finally all came together in one absolutely insane hour of Skywars. This is the story of that hour. This record is quite a personal record for me. Ever since the launch of Polyphase and Schmiedo's live stats, I've been trying to break not only my own record, but the overall record for XP in 1 hour. There is one main problem with this though, and that is that the record is not at all documented. Nobody truly knows for sure what the highest XP in an hour legitimately is. However, I believe it's safe to assume that it was previously below 800. So, my goal was to break 800 XP in 1 hour. Pretty simple, right? Nope, not at all. Not even in the slightest. The problem with a record like this is that it's almost completely RNG based. Corrupted games are essentially what carry this record, and a lack of corrupted games or simply not getting any good heads in corrupted games can make or break an hour. You also need to be typically getting more than 25 wins per hour, but it could theoretically be done in less than that. Heads are going to be a very important part in this, so I'll explain them. Firstly, a corrupted game's chance is calculated by this formula. So for me, this means I'll always have at least 14% chance to get a corrupted game, but the realistic number for most games is around 20. Now let's talk heads. Heads are what come from players when you kill them in corrupted games. There are 10 total head types you can get, and each type of head gives a different amount of XP, ranging from 1 to 15. A type of head is calculated based on the number of kills a person has. So, since I have over 25k kills, I will always be a heavenly head, but someone with 10,000 to 24,999 would be a divine head. With that said, I want to go into my history with XP per hour. Let's take a look at August, where I was pretty proud of this measly 543 XP in 1 hour. Only 4 days later, I trumped this record with a 679 XP hour. Another month passed, but this time I was going to enter new territory. At this point, nobody had really even thought about getting 700 XP in an hour. On September 15th, I would become the first to reach an insane high of 738 XP in a single hour. This, unfortunately, would be where I hit a sort of skill ceiling in terms of how much more I could push the most XP in an hour. By the time I got to my monthly record month, February 2021, I would be consistently getting at least one 700 XP hour per day. My personal best at the time was around 750 XP, so it was clear that improvement was being made. 800 XP in an hour was my final goal for pushing XP per hour, and that's where we'll set the bar. Soon to come was one more unforeseen catalyst in expanding my XP per hour, and that came in a form I wasn't expecting. On the 31st of March, the admins would announce a new update for Skywars. This was with the implementation of soft matchmaking. One thing I definitely noticed was not that my games were quote harder end quote, rather the lack of bad heads. In fact, getting an ew head was a little rarer than getting a divine head. For me, this was a fantastic change, and it meant that because I was queuing more experienced players, and on average my games would be faster as more people would end up going to mid. My head luck was also increased as a result, and this meant that the heads I gathered would be better heads. This was absolutely a formula for something incredible to happen. Soon after this update, as many of you know, I would also push the boundary for most XP in a day. Accomplishing almost 600 XP an hour for a full 24 hours was an incredible achievement for me, and at this point I knew if I was that consistent at 600 per hour, then pushing the XP in an hour record would naturally come. I'm recording some games as part of a settings test for an upcoming video. It's quite late at night, and I wasn't planning on playing for long. I was in a call with a few friends since I was treating this as a short casual session, but I was in for a real treat. What you've been watching in the last few minutes is gameplay from this evening. The goal is 800 XP in 1 hour. With that in mind, let's take a deeper look at this gameplay. My first game was a corrupted game, which did give me a good start to the session. I got a nice amount of XP in that game, but this was only the beginning. I won a quick game before getting into 3 more corrupted games, back to back to back. I realized that this could be an insane hour, given that I continue to get this good luck. The next few games were fairly uneventful, but the first hiccup in the hour would soon occur. I got yet another corrupted game, but after getting 25 XP from 3 heads, I got sandwiched between 2 people and died. This was sort of a setback, but the fact that I got some XP from the heads made up from the death. A couple of games later, I would die again in a corrupted game in the worst way possible, but I did get 6 not so terrible heads. Right here, I'm about halfway through the hour, but if my luck continued, I was still on track for 800 XP in the hour. I won some more fairly quick games and brought my wins per hour back up, then got a couple more corrupted wins. Here, my luck for corruption ran out. Now, we are nearly 40 minutes into the hour. So far, I've gotten 9 corrupted games and lost 3 of them, but still gathered 42 heads. What's important here is to ensure that I keep getting around 1 head per minute on average. That said, the game had a separate idea in mind. While my games were swift and I won them all, my corrupted luck was more than gone here. I won 8 games in a row, but only 1 of them was corrupted. After a couple games, I'd be at a turning point for the hour. In the next 5 minutes, I'd need to get myself 90 XP. These next games would be the deciding factor in if I would break the boundary for an 800 XP hour. Luck would return to my side, as the next game was a corrupted game. This was the game, the game that would make 800 XP in an hour possible. I picked up 3 very nice kills, totaling 16 XP. I saw this bunch of players and decided to try get those kills. I got 1 kill, but the worst possible outcome for this game had come. There was 1 player B-hopping, a devastating loss for me. There was absolutely nothing I could do, apart from try again the next game. My initial plan here was to try and get as much XP as I could by continuing to queue games until I got a corrupted game. In a very unexpected turn of events, I queued what is ironically the best outcome in this scenario. A corrupted game. And this wasn't just any corrupted game, I noticed that I queued these 2 players. These players were both 15 XP per head, and I knew what I needed to do. This was the true make or break situation. Going into mid, I got very lucky. The first chest I pulled a prop 4 helmet, which would later save me, and the second chest 6 pearls. Walmart Opak was behind me, and he nearly ended the hour there, but I decided to play very aggro on him and pearled on him while he was low to secure the kill. Another player joined the fight, and he also got blessed by the gods of RNG. If I had fought him, it was almost certain I'd lose. I had to use an extra 4 pearls here, which I thought had cost me the entire game. I was wrong. After running, I picked up a quick kill, then used the strength on the other heavenly in the game. I killed him, then used that strength to pick up 2 more kills. At this point for the game, I'm at a comfortable 46 XP without the win. I killed the last guy and won the game, which gave me roughly 63 XP. But there was a really big problem. I was short of 800 XP for the hour by a mere 7 XP. I had only a minute and 20 seconds to win the game or get 7 kills. Now my nervousness was kicking in. I was finally about to reach a goal I'd been going for so long, and this was the one opportunity I had when it was actually possible. I felt my hands shaking in nervousness. It all came down to this game. Instead of going straight to mid, I killed both players on my quadrant. By the time I got to mid, there were 2 players there, and I almost died to someone stealing my kill. The favor was happily returned, and here's where I got even more incredibly lucky. After I killed both of those players, the last 2 were happily whacking away at each other in the closest quadrant. This was where my hour would end, with less than 10 seconds to spare. Just to put this into perspective, if one of them had been on the other side of the map or was unable to locate them, it would have completely thrown the hour. All I can say about this hour is that it was extremely lucky. 34% of my games were corrupted, and I maintained solid ratios throughout the hour, getting myself 28 more wins and 59 more heads. And of course, 810 XP. As I was writing the script, 3 new things happened. I got to 800 XP an hour again, twice, and then I did it back to back. Oh yeah, Meaniehead got a pretty insane hour too, but hey, I needed my thumbnail and title, and he doesn't really mind. So that's what the edited script of the edited script said before, but now some new developments have occurred. I also became the first person to get a 900 XP hour, twice. What's really upsetting is the screenshot from my best friend Meaniehead. Thank you, Meaniehead. So when a 1000 XP hour inevitably drops, I'll be making a video on it. If you've enjoyed, feel free to subscribe here or follow me on my Twitch channel where I stream regularly. You can also join my Discord, we're pretty close to 500 members, so I'd really appreciate it. Have a good day, and goodbye.